Hey everyone, Julie Anderson here, also known as Brain Lady Julie. I want to shoot this quick video and we'll be putting this up on some of the YouTube and all those different places. I wanted to shoot a quick video talking about something that I just finished a podcast on, Women Entrepreneurs podcast on with the wonderful Dr. Patricia Palabra. And the topic that we were discussing was burnout. And it was kind of interesting, some of the things that we touched on and that she touched on the way she does integrative medicine, right? And she had some great points. So I encourage you to go listen to that particular episode of the Women Entrepreneurs interview that I did with her, because it was really good. But I felt it was a great topic to shoot a quick video on burnout, the statistics of burnout, what is going on, and how that is leading to devastating effects in mental health and beyond. Right beyond. So there was one of the sources that one of the places that I looked and found some very interesting statistics was that 89%, and this was through Lyra Health, 89% of Americans say that they have suffered burnout in one form or another over the last years, right? And over the last year, the last 12 months or so, primarily 2022 to the spring of 2023. And how devastating that is. Almost half of them said that they noticed it in their physical health. 40 some odd percent noticed it in their mental health and their mental clarity, right? And how that is affecting the way that they interact with other people. They're emotional. 32% said they were emotionally exhausted. We know that right now the mental health situation in the United States and really across the world is devastating. And this just adds to that, right? All of this leads to lack of energy, lack of motivation. If you are in a career, if you are in a corporate position, it affects your productivity. If you are a leader in a corporate setting, it affects the performance of the team. If your team is burnout, the question then is, what are you doing to support it, right? If you are a company, if you are an organization, what are you doing to help on a daily basis to encourage? What wellness policies do you have in place in your personal life as an individual or as a corporate leader in your company, right? What do you have in place? Because if you think that, depending on which statistics that you're reading, 70 to 90% of your employees are feeling burnout at some point in time in the upcoming year. How is that going to affect your financial viability, right? How is that going to affect how happy the shareholders are with the profit forecast? It is going to have a tremendous impact on it. So what can you do? Well, I wanted to drop in just a few quick tips that you can implement in your individual life. If you're listening to this or you're watching this as an individual, what you can implement as a person. And then if you are a leader in a company, you own a company, whether you have 2 employees or 2,000 employees, what can you do for them to help them do that, to help them deal with burnout? Okay. My first tip is always, I know, I talk about this all the time. Sleep's very important. We just put out a blog a little bit ago, or a couple of weeks ago, on how important it is to get good sleep, because sleep is kind of like it's the foundation of the way that your next day is going to go, right? So if you have a bad night's sleep, you may have all kinds of feelings and be overwhelmed and kind of feel that burnt out feeling the next day. And it's really not because of the extra things that are being put on your shoulders. It's simply because your brain doesn't have the bandwidth to deal with what it normally needs to deal with, because you haven't had a solid foundation of sleep. So sleep really sets the tone for the entire day. Go back and read the article, or listen to the podcast that I did on the importance of sleep, when I gave a lot of tips on how to get good sleep. But I want to put that out there. And if you're a corporate wellness executive, or you are a leader in a business, be sure that you put initiatives out there within your company that are going to encourage positive sleep. What does that look like? Well, does it look like maybe giving the gift of the Aura rings to your team so that they can monitor their sleep, or the Fitbits, or the watches that can track sleep, those devices, those types of things. I don't put 100% faith in a lot of those. But you can do the education portion of it, right? You can encourage them by letting them know what are the best ways to get sleep, right? What are the best ways to enhance the sleep that you're getting? I know that there are people out there listening that are like me. There have been times when I have gone to bed early. I've gone to bed at 8 o'clock at night. I woke up at 5:30 to 6, because that's generally when we get up in the morning. And so you would think, oh, that's plenty of sleep. And yet I am exhausted because I tossed and turned, or I didn't sleep well, or it was too hot, or it was, I was flashing or something, right? You have to kind of analyze what your quality of sleep is. So you can encourage that by instituting different incentives within your company to reach that. And you can do the same with other things, right? Always make sure that you're encouraging that they take breaks often. It sounds strange to say that the more breaks you take, the more productive you'll be. And obviously, if you're taking a break every 5 minutes, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about reasonable breaks every hour, like literally making sure that you are getting up and moving constantly. I tell people never sit at their desk or in a stagnant position for more than 30 minutes. And the reason for that is that everything just kind of settles in the body, right? And that includes oxygen from your brain. It starts to settle, and your brain does not function as well. So encouraging mini breaks, you'd be much better to say, look, I'd rather have you instead of taking one 15-minute break, or one 20-minute break in the morning, and one 20-minute break in the afternoon, 15-minute break in the afternoon, I want you to take a 5-minute break every single hour, right? I want you to get up every 30 minutes. In every 30 minutes, we're going to play a certain song on the music that goes through, through the speakers in the office, or some kind of a cue that's going to tell all my workers, look, I want you to stand up right now. And in that moment, I want you to do something. I want you to do stretches. I want you to get that circulation back going in your body. And I want you to go get hydration. I want you to get something to drink. I want you to drink some water, or take a few swigs of the water that you've got. Maybe that's something else that you do. You provide them with measurable water jugs for their desk that they have to, that they can monitor how much water that drink. All of these things add to brain health. And when you're adding to brain health, when you're getting your brain healthy, it helps your mind to be healthy. It helps with that mental health aspect. And burnout is a mental health issue. So give some thought to ways that you can incentivize your workers to do things that are going to be better for them, right? Can you incorporate some sort of wellness activities, meaning a little bit of exercise, right? Can you create a green space in your office? When I do culture and when I go into a corporate setting, and I'm actually working with my corporate client for 3 months or 6 months, or I start off with a site visit. And one of the things that I do in the site visit is I literally look around to see, is this a brain-friendly atmosphere? Is this atmosphere, from the colors on the walls, to the comfort of the workstation, to how much natural light is allowed to come into the office? How many green plants do they have? Do they have a water wall? Have you thought about a water wall? I love it when I walk into companies and they have a water wall. And what I mean by that is some kind of water feature where water is just trickling down the wall. There's so much positive science that has gone into the breaking of those water molecules as they fall and how that ionizes in the air, and just a lot of good benefits. So the more brain healthy you can make your environment, the more brain healthy habits you can give your clients to do, the better they're going to be able to deal with the stresses or the workload that they have, and therefore the lower rates of burnout and the higher rates of productivity. So I challenge you as an individual, if you are a high-powered entrepreneur that goes in there and you hit your desk early in the morning and you're getting right into those emails, which, by the way, I highly suggest you don't touch your phone and you don't touch the computer for at least 30 minutes in the morning when you get up. Period. End of subject. The world is not going to come to a screeching halt unless you are an emergency room physician or a doctor or a fireman, somebody that is on call at that moment. The world will not come to a screeching halt if you give your brain the first 30 to 60 minutes in the morning to gently readjust and gently make that transition from sleep to wake. So do that. And then make those adjustments in your day. Get up and move often. Be in green spaces. Can you go out? Are you anywhere near grass? If you aren't anywhere near grass, can you plant outside your office building a grass footpath? And you may think, well, wait a minute, you're not supposed to walk on the grass because the grass dies. Well, how about a grass grounding path? In other words, where you just sit there and you take your shoes and socks off and you put your feet in the grass. Just so much neuroscience benefit to all of these little things. And if this is a type of a wellness program that you can implement in your office, at home, if you are an entrepreneur, or in your office, your outside office, if you're an entrepreneur, right? If you have an office building somewhere, what can you do to implement those types of things? And if you are in a corporate space as a leader, what kind of wellness habits or things can you implement? Getting up and moving, green spaces, falling water, hydration, encouraging your workers, your employees, your team members to do this little extra, incentivizing them or making it a policy that, hey, every hour on the hour, everybody gets up and moves. And we play dance music for 5 minutes. You don't have to dance if you're not a dancer, right? If they're introverts and they don't want to dance, don't force them to dance, because now we're going to engage the fear center and we don't want to do that. But can you implement strategies where you're saying, look, for those 5 minutes, I just want you to move. I don't care if you are walking around the office, right? I just want movement. Those are the types of things that will help to raise the mental health. And when you raise that and when you make the brain healthier, you're going to reduce the burnout. Now, obviously, there's policies on workload and overtime and all of work expectations. That is a whole nother section that we can talk about. But let's address the brain health first. Let's address that body health first, because if you can raise the resiliency level of your employees, you're going to reduce that burnout. Okay, so those are my tips for this quick little video, this quick little what I would call the Brain Lady Speaks segment. I hope it's been helpful for you. If you'd like the show notes, we've got some show notes for you. We're going to put those in a really nice, cute little document and send that out to anyone who would like that. So just put that in the comment section, put show notes or something like that, and we'll get it out to you. All right, that's all for now. Take a nice deep breath, roll the shoulders back, shake off the stress, take a nice drink of water and a deep breath, and go out there and have some fun, laugh a little, get that mental health up.